pas l'agent.
Tu veux laquelle de Texas?
Bah, je sais plus comment elle s'appelle. Dis-moi les titres. Les offres. Celle que je chantais tout à l'heure.
C'est What You Want.
Voilà, c'est What You Want.
And you can tell me your reasons, but you won't change my feelings. I feel the same about you. I've said goodnight, tried to sleep tight. I just dream of being. Go close your eyes, 'cause I've closed mine. The sun will shine from time to time. Oh, you dream of me.
Here's the story.
Okay, you want to know.
Very quickly, I developed a way of deciding whether somebody was worth corresponding with or that I should just leave them alone.
Okay.
You know, and one of the things is, if somebody wrote me a letter, and I found out, you know, and if they told me a couple of little facts about themselves, you know, I am so, and I live so, and out my window you can see, you know, anything, you know, that's fine. But then you get, so every once in a while, you get somebody who tells you nothing about themselves. Mm-hmm. They're crazy. They're always going to be crazy, and you always regret having answered the letter. I learned that very early. And Tiptree, while he in the first few I got, I was quite convinced it was a he, was, you know, never told me a thing about himself. You know, I mean, you know,
Very private.
yeah, and they were effusive with praise and how much they liked my work and what have you. But I thought, I thought this is whoever this is, they're out of their gourd.
Samuel Delany to Joan Russ before Tiptree revealing her identity. Now to the Tiptree letter. It must be so exhausting. There is that man with all this goodwill and good feeling and obvious affection for you, and even something that he, I'm sure, mistakes with / feels as sympathy for your cause. And all the coordinates are rotated 90 degrees out of 1, sanity, 2, reality, and 3, usefulness. I don't know. He seems to be a person it would be best to talk about other things with. I find myself wondering, when all is said and done, if it isn't simply because he's a little old. Is that desperately unfair? Just to survive, one gets, how shall I say, basic word templates about certain things. New ideas from then on are only acceptable as they fit within these. My basic sex view template really hasn't shifted since I was 20. It only had areas of it filled in a little and a few little shifts imposed. It was another basic power split, passive/active, makes the world go round view that is behind most male heterosexuals' view. Tips is that view, and I suspect he will never be able to do other than to be generous with his quota of power. And he will never be able to clearly realize that the power was given to him, it is not his, by the same mechanism that took it from you, and that, as such, his generosity is just besides the point politically. And to be that beside the point politically is always going to sound, no matter all intention, like the worst of taste. A bracelet for which the owner paid 2 women. Indeed, really, he just can't hear that. It's like being tone deaf. Only this is political tone deafness. The clue, psychological that is, to his position, I suspect is the phrase, "I am making myself feel so unreal I shall shortly vanish and this letter will never be posted." To give even the tiniest bit for most men is to cease to be / to cease to be men, the two statements being tantamount to the same. Tip is probably giving more than most men around him he knows, and the price is a very threatening ego dissolution. I don't know. He's a nice man who writes some nice stories, some better written than others. And he has one basic fact down. The real work has got to be done by woman, for woman, with woman.
29 octobre 1981. Tiptree à Joanna Russ. Joe. Ce paragraphe n'avait pas de raison d'être, si ce n'est de démontrer un peu de solidarité. Et pour te demander comment tu as pu te soumettre à des chocs électriques avec autant d'insouciance. S'il te plaît, raconte-moi, combien, quelle tension et quelle partie de ta tête ont-ils traversé ? Je ne peux rien faire d'utile, mais il me semble que c'est la détresse qui t'a poussé à jouer avec le feu. Et je veux suivre de près ce qu'il arrive à mon signe. Si j'en savais un peu plus, je pourrais peut-être te dire si c'est ce que tu vis, si c'est temporaire ou prévisible, à la suite d'un choc donné, ou s'il s'agit de quelque chose d'aberrant. Curieusement, je peux même te rejoindre dans l'expérience de l'amnésie. Savais-tu que les opérations et les dysfonctionnements cardiaques peuvent produire une amnésie notable ? Dans ma confusion, j'ai senti le passé s'éloigner. J'ai pris des notes désespérées dans mon journal, dont la plupart sont illisibles ou perdues. La seule que j'ai pu retrouver est apparemment le brouillon d'une lettre adressée à un « fond pour les crabes », totalement illusoire, auquel je faisais don de 500$ en mémoire d'un dénommé Grand Viva, qui s'est « réuni d'une certaine manière ». 27 février 1982, Joanna Russ à Alice Sheldon. Très cher Tipletons, cela te dérange que ton nom apparaisse en quelque sorte dans une de mes histoires ? J'ai écrit une histoire sur l'écriture d'une romance gothique intitulée Lady Sappho. La romance, que je résume dans l'histoire, est une romance gothique lesbienne dans laquelle Miss Fanny Goodwood tombe amoureuse de Lady Mary de Sawyercourt, qui écrit des poèmes en grec, étant bien éduquée, d'où le surnom de Lady Sappho. Marie tombe amoureuse en retour, et j'explique que la mère de Lady M avait une amie romantique et que les deux ont été séparés, pleurant et se jurant une loyauté éternelle. Je veux appeler la mère de Lady M Alice Tiptree. Cela te convient-il, ou préférerais-tu Dorothy Tiptree, ou un autre nom ? Dis-moi ce que tu en penses.
I remember the day she killed herself.
Yeah.
I was living at 184 West 82nd Street.
Really?
Yeah, that was in the 80s, sometime in the 80s, and I got this, and by this time we all knew Tiptree was Alice Sheldon. Yeah, and I got a call from David Hartwell, who had just been to see her a couple of days before, not maybe a week before, and what he told me is that he was there to visit them, Alice and her husband, who was so much older than she was, and blind, and in a wheelchair.
I didn't know blind.
Huh?
Which
Yeah.
kind of like blind. Okay.
Yeah, he was blind, and she had asked David. It was getting on, and she said, "Would you like to stay for dinner, or would you like to stay and I'll fix something?" And then she left the room, and what was the Ting?
Ting, yeah.
Ting.
Ting, yeah.
And Ting said to David, No, don't stay. Please don't stay. You don't know how much this takes out of her. If you stay, she will be in a state for the next, So, and this was. Ting was whispering, sort of saying this sort of voce, while she was in the other room, and so he said, "Oh, all right, So when she came back, she said, actually, it's very sweet of you to provide, but I realize I have to get home, and so forth." And so he left, and about 3 or 4 days, I guess the next weekend, I believe it was, she shot him and shot herself. and I.
It's not funny, but also
It's not for no. It's sad.
It's just so crazy. This
it is. It is crazy. It is crazy. But it's also terribly sad.
No, of course.
Yeah. And as people said, people who knew Ting said Ting may have been 90, or 91 or whatever it was, but he was not ready to die.
« 21 mars 1982. Alice Sheldon répond à Joanna Russ. Maintenant, à propos de la mère de Lady M. Pas d'objection sur le principe, mais il faut y penser d'un point de vue littéraire. Puis-je te suggérer une énigme plus discrète? Tiptree va perturber et arrêter la lectrice, à moins que tu n'y mettes beaucoup d'autres embrouilles. Pourquoi pas T-Trip, Pretty, Pear Tree, Alexandra, mon nom secret, T-Trump ou n'importe lequel de tes 100 noms, tous beaucoup plus huppés que Tiptree, qui est finalement un fermier au visage rouge, c'est vrai. Ou simplement T-Tray. Je t'aime.
I remember the day she killed herself. I put the phone down and then I left the house to go up to 86th Street to where my bank was, and I'm going down 86th Street in, between down from Amsterdam to Broadway. And I'm walking down the street, and suddenly I hear a loud bang. Bang, backfire or something. I turn around. A man has gotten out of a car, walked around to the back of the car, taken a shotgun out of the car. His wife has gotten out of the car. He has blown his wife away.
In front of you?
Not in front. I turned. I heard. Yeah, and I turned and looked across the street, and this is what was going on across the street. And then he proceeded to put the shotgun in his mouth and blown his own head off.
Really?
Yeah. He went up. He went. I can still read it. He went up in the air, and one of his shoes came off. A loafer that he was wearing came off and lay in the street, and so there these people, these two corpses. It is funny, and
It's good for a movie. It's good for a movie.
Good for a movie, yeah. And I, but it's also it's happening. There's pieces of head all over the street.
Franchement, je trouverais pas cool mon cheapest.
Then I remember seeing him thinking, I'm not ready for two of these in one day. So that was the day of the day I found out about it. So I never forgot that.
12 juin 1984. Alice Sheldon écrit à Joanna Russ. Ta lettre était charmante. Elle l'est toujours. Je reprends le fil après une nuit d'interruption causée par un poisson-coï mort, l'apparition de 3 bébés ratons laveurs et un terrible cauchemar. Tu sais, le genre de nuit paisible et joyeuse. Je retombe dans la dépression, malgré le médicament qui m'a aidée, parce que j'ai peur de ne plus jamais écrire quelque chose de bien. Il y a bien une histoire explicitement lesbienne, à moins que les rédacteurs n'aient changé quelques pronoms à la toute fin. C'est plus ou moins ma meilleure histoire, With Delicate Mad Hands, dans le recueil Out of the Everywhere, le plus récent. Personne ne semble avoir remarqué que l'amante de toujours de la terrienne, que celle-ci finit par rencontrer, est une femme. Comme je l'ai dit, cela dépend de la vigilance dans la lecture, des pronoms, lorsque les autres extraterrestres parlent de leurs amours.
Science fiction people are funny.
Long for you, I know it's like a lot of.
Oh no! You can take all afternoon and into the evening. We can go on until dinner time. I don't get much, you know.
Okay, well, we are here. We
I'm a very social person, and I like company.
That's great. You want to go out, or like you said you don't leave the apartment, so but
I know I will go
eat
with you.
something or like
Oh, how is the weather out?
No.
raining.
Raining?
Let me check.